41,000 more homes by the end of the decade. That's the state of Vermont's goal. To do that, you need a plan and some changes to the laws that have slowed development from happening for decades now. This morning, the Commissioner for Housing and Community Development explains why it needs to happen. Commissioner Alex Farrell, thanks for joining us here on NBC5 In Depth.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Finish this sentence for me. The Vermont housing market is
tight.
Yeah.
Too tight.
Yeah.
I'd say scarcity is probably what everyone feels. They might not think of it as scarcity, but that's really what it is. Your high rents, your high prices on new homes, that's what it is.
Your path to fix it is called the Path to Accelerate and Transform Housing. How could this change how we do home building here in the state of Vermont?
We'll do a few things, and the biggest, in the broadest sense, what our goal is, as it has been the past few sessions, is to remove barriers.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's contributed to our slowdown over the past few decades are barriers that we've thrown up at the municipal level, where our zoning's gotten too restrictive,
Sure.
At the state level, where our permitting is really complicated to get through, and at this, you could say, judicial level, where our appeals process is really complicated. We're trying to find ways not just to invest, but how do we make those investments go far, remove those barriers.
When you talk about the appeals process, we're talking about if you live in a certain town and you don't like a project that's being proposed, you're going to need more than a couple of your friends to stop this from happening, right?
That's right. That's one of the ways that we want to make sure it's not so easy or risk-free to appeal a housing project. And this petition appeal, what you're referring to, is one way that people can appeal. If you don't live next to a project but you still don't like it,
right,
you can get a group of your friends together, and if you live in the town, you can petition it. We want to raise that standard a little bit. And other avenues, let's say you are a neighbor and you don't like the idea of a new housing project. Well, you're going to need to really demonstrate that that project does not line up with the land use regulations, the residential zoning. But if it does line up, well, then I'm sorry, you've had your chance for input in the zoning process, that project's going forward.
How much of this rides on the omnibus housing bill getting passed this session?
Well, I'd say if the full omnibus housing bill were to pass this session, you would see significant progress towards home building. Here's where we are in the progress. The governor and us, the administration, we have presented our bill. We have presented the Path for Vermont bill, and legislators jumped right on it and had an opportunity to hear about it, and I want to give them credit for taking that opportunity before the bill was technically officially introduced.
Yeah.
And so they've heard from us. Now, it's up to the legislators to either take up our bill or create their own bills that incorporate concepts from us.
The number we throw around a lot is 41,000 homes by the end of the decade. We're looking at a 30,000 home gap right now. Do we have the builders to make this happen?
It's a good question. We are going to be constrained by capacity, and the reason we want to take these steps right now to ratchet up home building is because all of the builders around here are saying we're short on labor.
Yeah.
And so we need to give them the assurance that they can scale up. If we give them those assurances right now by passing these laws, what we've proposed, well, then we have a really good chance at telling these home builders, you can scale up. Developers, bring in more labor and give them homes to live in.
And we're not just talking about Chittenden County. We're talking about all across the state, right?
That's right. And you'll see the governor's bill has a heavy focus on, sure, bolstering development in Chittenden County, but giving rural areas the same chance as Chittenden County.
You've even looked at what is off-site building and that option of producing a home year-round. How reliable? Is that a possibility of you utilizing some of these companies to chip in?
It is a possibility, and folks around here probably know manufactured housing. We have some really great mobile home parks, manufactured home communities, and a lot of folks around here might have a home from, say, Huntington Homes or another off-site construction. This is where the technology is getting really exciting because there are a lot more options now. It's not the traditional manufactured housing. There are a lot of different ways to build this type of housing, and in a short labor market, this could be a solution.
It's always back to money. It's going to cost a lot of money. It's expensive to build here. How concerned are you with what's going on in Washington, D.C. and the possible tariffs that could be imposed on a lot of the wood products that come from up north down here to Vermont?
It's something to be concerned about, and The governor has made a point to say, and he's right, let's not leap to conclusions before we know what's going to happen.
Right.
But what we can say, based on our analysis, if something like a tariff were to take place, it would hurt home building. It's going to make it more expensive. And we all know it's already incredibly expensive to build homes. So that's certainly not what we need. It wouldn't help. And look, in all these cases, sure, we look to carve out exemptions for home
Right.
building. But if it's bad for home building, it's bad across the board.
I think when we talk about home building, people envision these big $650,000, $700,000 homes, but we're talking about anything from, you know, a single-family home to apartments, right?
That's right. That's right. And what I like to remind folks is that what we've done over the past few years is to legalize housing in many forms.
Yeah.
Sure, you're seeing a lot of these large multifamily homes being built, these large apartment complexes. And what we've done is we've legalized duplexes across the whole state. So now you as a property owner have the right to take your single family home, and if you want, if it makes the numbers work out better for you, you can add another unit or duplex it. And now that helps you stay in your home, and you're now providing a house to another family.
You guys have introduced a new tool, this calculator that's in real time. It's created a really good visual of what is happening right now and what needs to happen. It really shows the disparity about how much building is happening and what that goal is. Does that 41,000 home number, does that keep you up at night?
You could say it does, but I love the data that got us to 41,000. I don't love the number 41,000.
Right.
Here's why. When I go to communities and I tell them 41,000, their eyes get big and they get scared.
Yeah.
But when I go to Shelburne and I say, look, to meet your share, all I need from you is 75 homes a year.
Right.
I go to Barton and I say, I need 15 homes a year. That's the way that communities can understand we can do this. We can chip away at this, and it's not going to be easy, but we all need to say yes to housing.
How quickly can you realize that we're chipping away at it? Is it 2027? Is it 2028?
The great thing about the tool that you just referenced is we get to see in real time the progress we're making. Now, of course, like I said before, we've got labor market constraints, so this thing's going to scale up, right?
Yeah.
And we are going to see the benefit of the laws we've passed. 2027, we'll have a pretty good idea, but something tells me by 28, 29, we're still going to have our foot on the gas because it's going to be an accelerating, right? And so we need to keep pushing. And so whatever we do this year, that's also not going to be the end of it, because what we did last year, the year before, needs more. We need to build on it.
Right. Commissioner Alex Farrell, thanks for joining us this morning.
Brian.